All right, why don't we turn the record on? Mr. and Mrs. Yoder, would you please come up and have a seat right over here? Good morning. This is the time and date for a hearing regarding a show cause regarding a alleged violation of an order from Judge Stutzman. And the matter is set for this morning. There are two files. I believe the one we're actually in, Mr. Thornton, is 25040CZ, the first case.
That's correct, but I scheduled a hearing and noticed a hearing on the default judgment in 533 also.
Yes, that was scheduled for today because we're all going to be here. And so that is the other case. Both are entitled Columbia Township versus Alfred and Joanne Yoder. Are you Alfred Yoder?
Yes, sir.
And you're Joanne Yoder?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lance Thornton is here on behalf of Columbia Township. Before we begin, just a couple of matters. This matter was assigned to me after disqualification by Judge Stutzman, the circuit court judge. Some of the rulings that are at issue today have already been decided by another judge. The question is the compliance with that judge's order. So now I'm the judge that's hearing it. The township moved to disqualify me. I denied that motion, and so we're all here. Just as another aside, the matter is a public courtroom and people are welcome to be here. But you have to abide by the rules of decorum. And even if you don't respect me, you have to respect the process. So apparently Judge Stutzman had this same issue, but when I went to leave the courtroom, the bailiff called for all the people to rise and everyone rose but one person. That's Mr. Andrew Brandt. So I asked the bailiff to remove him. He says he obeys the law of God, not necessarily the court. And I guess I respect that, but he can do it somewhere else. He isn't going to rise in respect for the court. He's not welcome to be in here, so he can certainly watch the matter on the live stream. But I asked the bailiff to remove him, and apparently he agreed to that. I think the same issue arose in circuit court. All right, I had recommended sincerely that the defendants get counsel in this matter. They don't have to. There are some complicated issues here. There are some consequences of the findings. And it's my understanding, Mr. Yoder, that you don't wish to have an attorney here at this proceeding and you wish to represent yourself.
We're currently getting advice and guidance, but we do not have a formal attorney representing us in the court at this time.
All right, Ms. Yoder, you concur with that? All right, and my concern was that I don't think the advice and guidance you were getting was very good advice or guidance, but you're of your own free will and you can make those decisions. All right,
Your Honor,
yes.
before the court proceeds to contempt, we respectfully challenge jurisdiction. Jurisdiction must be proven on record first.
All right, your objection to challenge jurisdiction is denied. The court has jurisdiction. I reside in the state of Michigan. I'm duly elected by the electors of St. Joseph County, and I serve under the leadership of the Michigan Supreme Court. This is a constitutionally and statutorily created court. You're residents of Columbia Township. Columbia Township is the plaintiff in this matter. You're the defendant, and the court has jurisdiction. So that motion is denied. Anything else you want to say before we begin?
Your Honor, we respectfully note our objection for the record and reserve all rights to appeal.
That's appropriate. And I'll note any objections you have to the ruling I just made or any other rulings. And you do have a right to appeal. The appeal from this level would be to the Michigan Court of Appeals. So I respect that. Mr. Thorne, do you wish to set out our roadmap here for this morning?
Yes, one of my first questions, Your Honor, was which matter do we want to start with?
The simpler one is the entry of the default, but let's start with a more difficult one, the contempt issue. That was what was originally set for today. Do you wish to speak to that?
Sure, Your Honor. If the court is ready, I'm ready to call my first evidentiary witness.
All right. Why don't you make a brief opening statement to just lay it out for everyone that's here?
We find ourselves here this morning. Procedural history of this case was essentially there was a show cause hearing scheduled before Judge Stutzman in circuit court. I don't have the exact date of that, but the Mr. and Mrs. Yoder failed to appear for that show cause hearing after having been ordered to do so by the circuit court. Then we had another unscheduled hearing when the Yoders appeared at the court on a different matter. And I participated by Zoom, where it's my understanding that essentially the Yoders were arraigned on the civil contempt charge. And this hearing today was scheduled at that hearing to address the actual evidentiary hearing to determine whether the Yoders are in contempt, civil contempt of the court's default judgment and permanent injunction that entered in this matter on March 13 of 2025.
In civil contempt, you don't necessarily have a right to have an attorney to represent you. You certainly can hire one. There's not incarceration possible as a punishment for civil contempt. There is a fine of up to $7,500 and other equitable relief, meaning the court can order that certain things happen. But if you're found in contempt, you're not subject to incarceration, at least not for this hearing. And the burden of proof is lower in civil contempt than it is in criminal contempt. It's a burden of preponderance of evidence. But essentially, the allegation is the judge ordered back in March that you not do certain things and that you continue to do them. So the township ordered a show cause. You didn't appear for the show cause. There was a bench warrant. You came in and we took care of the bench warrants. And now you're here so we can proceed. All right. Thank you. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. The township may call their first witness.
That I would call Joanne Yoder, Your Honor.
Ms. Yoder, would you come up into the witness box? In civil contempt, you do not have a right to not testify. If you're charged in a criminal case, you have an absolute right not to testify. In a civil case, you don't have that right, and you're subject to being called by the opposing party. So Ms. Yoder, would you come up here in the witness box, and then we'll see how we can proceed. Good morning. Would you state your name? All right, have a seat if you would. I know that Amish don't like to swear out an oath, so would you be willing to affirm that any testimony you will give here today will be truthful to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I testify.
All right, do you hereby affirm, not swear an oath, but affirm that any testimony you give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Sure.
All right, affirm. All right, Mr. Thornton, you may inquire.
Mrs. Yoder, if you could try to speak up so that the proceedings are being recorded and so that I can also hear and everyone in the courtroom can hear your responses. Mrs. Yoder, where do you live? Where's your residence?
Yes.
I do have a problem with my mind does not work in groups of people. Is sometimes coming up with answers and to respond. So please excuse me if I cannot.
All right, well, let's see what we can do. Do you live in Columbia Township?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you live on Marsh Road?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the number of the house?
30158. Actually, I have two addresses that I lumps it to.
All right,
30100 and 30158.
30100. Okay, thank you. And it's no fun to sit in a witness box. I've done it myself. I've had little small children in the witness box, but let's just try to do the best we can here.
In following up, Mrs. Yoder, with the two addresses you've confirmed on Marsh Road, the 30158 Marsh Road, is that your home that you actually reside in?
Yes.
And then the 30100 Marsh Road, that is a second structure on the same parcel as your home, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was built as a home, is that correct? That second structure?
Yes,
And those two, your home that you reside in and this second structure are on the same parcel of property, is that correct? The two homes are on the same tax parcel. And you operate a birthing center in that second structure, is that correct?
No.
What happens in that second structure? Is it empty? Is it occupied? Who occupies it? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
it's a private ministry.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by private ministry?
That's what we have as a private ministry.
Are there births occurring in that home?
It's a private ministry.
That's not my question. I'm asking you, do pregnant women give births in that second structure on that parcel?
My understanding, it doesn't matter what we do in our ministry.
Well, that may be your opinion. We'll determine that. Right now, we're just trying to establish what happens. And so you are required to answer the question.
That is part of it, but it's a private ministry.
So it would be accurate to say that the structure is used partly for pregnant women to reside there temporarily and give birth
Yes,
with the assistance of a midwife.
yes,
And this birthing, the use of that structure for births, did you used to call that Mama's House Birth Center?
no, sir,
You never called it that?
no.
Did you have a name for it? Or do you have a name for it? What's the name now?
Mama's House Ministry,
Was there a prior name?
Mama's House Birthing Center.
When did that change?
February 6th, when you had received all the documents of the change,
I missed it, February.
2025.
Okay.
And you have all that. We have given you the documents on that recorded here at the courthouse.
My understanding, you had a DBA, is that correct? A business as name?
Yes,
Okay. And so if I'm correct, it used to be before February 6, 2025, Mama's House Birthing Center.
yes,
And then after February 6, 2025, you changed the name to Mama's House Ministry.
yes,
Has the important date here on my next few questions is going to be March 13 of this year, March 13 of 2025, because that is the date that the default judgment and permanent injunction entered by the court. So let me start there. You did receive a copy of the default judgment and permanent injunction, correct?
I think so.
And after that default judgment and permanent injunction entered on March 13, 2025, did you continue to allow pregnant women to temporarily reside at the 30100 Marsh Road for the purpose of giving birth to their child?
Yes, Your Honor.
Approximately how many births occur there in a week's time?
It varies.
What does it vary from? What would be the low? What would be the high?
What is the necessity of this?
Well, I'm interested too. I don't know if they're having one birth a month or 6 births a week. So I'm trying to get a sense of it. Bear in mind, I didn't start this case. Judge Stutzman's heard some things that I have not. So I'd like to know the answer to that myself.
Approximately between like 4 to 5 per week.
As an average, would that be the case prior to March 13 of 2025? And would that be the case after March 13 of 2025?
Probably, Your Honor.
Yes.
May I speak for this before we go further?
Well, yes. What would you
So-
like to say?
The first court hearing, what he's talking about was all about Mama's House Burden Center. And there, I've got proof here where that was all dissolved.
And so now it's Mama's House Ministry.
So that court hearing, what everything that we run through was all in default. because there was no such thing.
Let me briefly respond, Your Honor.
Yes.
Part of this case, it's not the DBA that's the defendant, and it wouldn't be the DBA that would be the defendant. It's actually Alfred and Yoder and Joanne Yoder individually as owners of the property that were made the defendants of this case and that were ordered not to allow the birthing center to continue on the property. So yeah, I guess it's the township's position that the change of DBA is irrelevant.
All right.
Your Honor, then the next thing also, so we received paperwork on the hearing. And in that paperwork, there's nowhere that it gave us to shut down. It says as soon as convenient, and that's not an appropriate time because it was never convenient.
All right, well, we'll explore that.
So the births that have occurred and are still occurring out there after March 13, 2025, a midwife assists with those births. Is that correct? You have to verbalize your answer.
Yes,
Are some of the women giving birth there on the property we're talking about after March 13, 2025? Are some of them unrelated to you?
yes, they're part of our ministry.
But they're not a blood relative or a relative by marriage?
Some are not.
Some are, some aren't.
Yes.
After March 13, 2025, are you charging the pregnant women that have birth there any fees for being allowed to use your property?
They donate.
They donate.
Some pay, some don't.
Do you have a established donation or a suggested donation?
Suggested.
Okay. What is that?
It's according to how much, I guess how long they stay.
Kind of based on length of stay.
So,
So is it like a room rental fee? Do you have any other fees or suggested donations for the pregnant women that come there to have birth, such as maybe for meals or things like that?
no,
That's included in the other donation you testified about.
no money for food.
Catch that?
There's no money for food.
Okay. So the room rental you'd accept.
Yes,
When there is a birth there, and again, I just want to concentrate now on after March 13, 2025. When there is a birth there, are you required to do any reporting as the owner of the property? So you're not required to report that a birth has occurred.
they have to have their documents for a birth certificate, that's all.
Okay, and that's what I'm referring to. So who prepares the documents that are necessary when a birth occurs on your property?
Midwives.
Do you have anything to do with that?
I have a midwife.
Okay, so would it be accurate to say you prepare some of those reports?
Yes, I do prepare some of the reports.
Okay, and where do those, and these are reports of the mother's name, is that correct?
Yes,
The name given to the child,
yes,
the date of the birth, is that accurate? Okay, so on that worksheet, you fill out or another midwife fills out, correct?
yes,
Where do those reports then go?
Here.
Here to the courthouse?
yes,
Would it be accurate to say they go to the county clerk's office here at the courthouse?
yes.
And how often do you make those reports?
Just whenever we have a birth,
Within hours or days, how often after you have a birth do you make that report and submit it?
we aim to have it done within 5 days.
You deliver those reports to the courthouse by hand, in person, or do you mail them to the courthouse, or is it a combination?
Both.
Both?